Good evening, everyone. It's a great honor to be hosted here, and I hope the next time we can see one another live and not via high technology. I'd like to start with a few remarks, with your permission. The first one is I'd like to apologize for my English, and I hope your Hebrew is at least as good as my English. That is one remark. The second is I'd like to give you a short brief, and later on I'll open the floor or the computer for questions you'd like to have some answer about, and I'll do my best to give you a good part of my knowledge so you can be part of us at these hard times and have a bit in mind what our thoughts are about and how the citizens of Israel are viewed by us in our homeland. As you may know, during 1991, the first Gulf War, Israel was hit about 40 Scud missiles that were launched against us towards our populated areas by Saddam Hussein from Iraq. Now we're quite a few, almost 15 years later. The government of Israel during 1992 has decided by law to have a home front command, which is the fourth command in the Israeli military. As some of you probably know, we have the Northern Command, which is now at full capacity against the war in Lebanon. We have the Central Command, which is dealing at these times with terrorist activities from the Palestinian Authority. And the Southern Command, which is doing a lot of operations, even though it seems in the media that this front has been a bit forgotten. There's a war still going on as well in the Southern Command in order to retrieve one of our 3 kidnapped fellow soldiers. This fourth command has become or was born in order to give the people of Israel someone who will look at their needs in a time of need. Later on in the year 2001, and after the 9/11 attacks, the great nation of the United States has done something similar to that and has put together an office that deals with Homeland Security. And there are a lot of similarities between the American office and the Israeli Homefront Command. And we're kind of a cross between the National Guard on one hand and an agency that is looking for the welfare of our civilians in times of military conduct or, God forbid, some kind of natural disaster that may occur, such as earthquake or other catastrophes we rather not think about, but somebody has to give a piece of his mind to these things as well. Today, at these times, we find ourselves dealing with a few agendas in hand. One of them is the media. The media in Israel and the media around the world is trying to take and put the humanitarian issues that have evolved in Israel because of the abduction of our soldiers to Lebanon by the Hezbollah, and are trying to show us as we have no humanitarian problems on hand and all of the humanitarian problems are in Lebanon. So a lot of our time now is dealing with the media and trying to give the world and our citizens instructions on one hand, on the other hand giving information in order to get a lot of ideas and thoughts out both inside Israel and around the world about what our civilians are going through these harsh times. Another agenda we are dealing with at this time is getting our people to get to a supposedly a good way of life under the harsh conditions they are going through. We have divided our northern region into a few different sectors. The people who reside near the border in the north have been going through 2 weeks of staying inside bomb shelters with very, very short, brief breaks that are given to them in order to go to their houses, do some laundry, do a few necessary things, and then by siren or by rocket attacks which occur, they are ordered to rush back inside the shelters. They've been going through this ordeal for the last 2 weeks. The second region, which is from the villages and cities in the north near the border down to the Haifa area, including different places like Tiberias on the east side of Israel. The people from this area up to the north are ordered to stay in what we call protected spaces. These protected spaces are, since there are not enough bomb shelters or air raid shelters for all of the people, and a lot of the buildings in this area have been constructed before 1992, which was the year that there was a law or legislation that was passed in Israel to build from this date onward protected spaces inside each apartment or on each floor in government offices or places of meeting. The people who don't have these spaces are asked by us to stay indoors in a room which is enclosed inside the envelope of the apartment. We ask them to look for a room or space that has no windows or less windows than possible, without any openings to the outside, since we know that the rocket attacks will come from the northern side and hit them. The third area, and you have probably all heard of the ordeal in Nazareth when the rocket attacks were launched without any discrimination between Jews, Arabs, Muslims, Christians, and 2 Muslim children were killed. This area are ordered to stay inside their houses. And the fourth area, which is from this line down to Tel Aviv, at this area we're trying to have, as you say in English, business as usual, and we want the population to be on a high alert in case a siren is sound and there may be a missile attack towards this area as well. I hope that with this short brief I've given you somewhat of an outline of how things look at this stage.